Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's talk about politics.
And defeat him and outpace him.
Europe is an energy poor and heavily rely on imported energy. Whoever controls energy exports to Europe gains political talk. That's the core logic behind modern global politics. The US wants guaranteed energy delivery and dollar-dominated trade to maintain financial dominance. Europe wants energy diversity and independence. Russia is looking for new markets while being constrained by global rules. Ukraine, once just a transit route of energy, is now reshaping the European energy map. And the Middle East continues to fight for privilege to sell energy to EU. The United States is not trying to seize oil for its own use. Instead, its real goal is to ensure that its Middle East allies can export energy to Europe smoothly, and that energy continues to be traded in US dollars. After the Russia and the Ukraine war began in 2022, Europe panicked over energy security. The US immediately ramped up LNG exports to Europe, but that's just one part of the equation. Oil from key allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE must pass through the Strait of Hormuz. If that strait is disrupted, say by tensions with Iran, the global energy market goes into chaos. That's why the US pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018 and put tough sanctions on Iranian oil. The goal? Preventing Iranian oil from reaching traditional buyers like Europe, India, Japan, and South Korea, forcing them to rely on US LNG or Gulf allies. Europe responded to the crisis with a move: diversify its energy sources. To sharply reduce its dependency on a single supplier, tapping into pipelines gas from Norway, LNG from United States and Qatar, and refined oil from North Africa and the Middle East. Strategically, Europe aimed to break free from any single country's grip on its energy supply, a shift now widely known as de-Russification. Russia wants control over Ukraine's energy pipeline network, while Ukraine seeks full integration into NATO and the EU, standing firmly against Russian influence. Russia views oil and gas as both an economic foundation and a foreign policy weapon. As Europe began to decouple from Russian energy, Russia looks new markets, but found itself constrained by shipping limitations, insurance risks, payment system, and price caps. Ukraine, once a major transit route for Russian gas into Europe, become too unstable due to war and shifting borders. This forced Europe to accelerate non-Russian pipelines, especially from the United States. Once the route changes, the entire energy game changes. The Middle East remains the core stage of the global political game because it holds three critical cards: production capability, strategic checkpoints, and geopolitical ally. Saudi plays the price stabilizer role, managing output while modernizing its economy. Iran is trapped in sanctions and nuclear tension, rising risk premiums in the Strait of Hormuz whenever conflict flares, and driving up energy costs for Europe. Qatar is aggressively expanding LNG capability, acting as Europe's last resort winter supplier. Iraq's export routes are unstable, directly impacting Mediterranean refinery access. The UAE is increasing both oil production and clean energy investment, balancing global image with market share. Syria influence global sentiment due to military presence and shipping line control. Are those countries fighting over oil? Not exactly. What they are really competing for is the ability to deliver oil and gas safely, on time, and affordably, especially during moments of global tension. From the Iraq war to Bin Laden to the current Russian-Ukraine conflict, one pattern is clear: modern wars and global politics are driven by energy. The Iraq war didn't overtly aim to steal oil, but it reshaped how oil was sold. Before the war, Iraq traded energy outside the US dollar with non-US allied countries. After the war, the US-backed government reoriented the exports to America, Europe, Japan, and South Korea, and returned to dollar-based settlements. When the Russian-Ukraine war broke out, governments rushed to import gas from US and the Middle East. Some ports built LNG terminals almost overnight. What started as energy action quickly became long-term strategy.